The world moved on, didn't it? After the last dodo drew its final breath, the sun still rose over Mauritius. The waves still lapped the shores. For a time, it was as if nothing had happened at all. A strange, quiet void had opened in the world, but no one was yet equipped to understand its shape or size. The dodo, that peculiar, flightless bird, had simply stopped being. Imagine the late 17th century. News traveled at the speed of a sailing ship. In the bustling ports of Europe, tales of a strange, clumsy bird from a remote island were just that, tales. Sailors' yarns spun over tankards of ale. Few had seen it, and fewer still had thought to document it with any scientific rigor. The idea that an entire species could just vanish from the face of the earth, it was an alien concept, almost nonsensical. The world was seen as a complete and unchanging creation. To suggest a piece of it could be permanently lost was like suggesting a star could fall from the sky. So, when the sightings stopped, when the sailors returned with no new stories of the Dronte, as they called it, there was no great outcry, no headlines, just a slow, creeping silence. The memory of the dodo began to fade, mingling with myths and legends, becoming almost as fantastical as the griffins and sea serpents that decorated old maps. Years turned into decades. In the dimly lit halls of nascent museums and the private collections of curious gentlemen, strange bones and a few precious sketches were all that remained. A head here, a foot there. These weren't grand skeletons mounted in dynamic poses. They were fragments, puzzle pieces, with no box to show the final picture. Early naturalists, men like George Edwards and Carolus Linnaeus, pored over these scraps by candlelight. They tried to piece together the creature. Was it a type of small ostrich, a relative of the pigeon? The debates were academic, detached. They were classifying a ghost. The word extinction wasn't even in common use yet. The concept was being slowly, painstakingly born in the minds of thinkers like Georges Cuvier, who studied the colossal bones of mammoths and mastodons being dug from the earth. He argued that these creatures were not simply hiding in some unexplored corner of the globe. They were gone, wiped out by ancient catastrophes. Yet, the dodo presented a different, more troubling puzzle. This wasn't a beast of a deep, prehistoric past. This was a creature that had walked the earth alongside modern humans. Its disappearance wasn't an act of God or a grand geological event. It was something quieter, more intimate, and far more unsettling. As the 18th century gave way to the 19th, a sense of unease began to crystallize. The dodo was becoming a symbol. In 1848, two researchers, Strickland and Melville, published a comprehensive monograph. They gathered every known account, every illustration, every last bone fragment. Their work was a scientific eulogy, a definitive declaration that the dodo was no more. And for the first time, they pointed a finger. They meticulously documented the arrival of Dutch sailors in Mauritius, the introduction of pigs, rats, and monkeys that preyed on the dodo's ground-level nests, and the direct hunting of the fearless, trusting birds by humans. This was a turning point. The dodo was no longer just a biological curiosity. It was a tragedy, a story of loss. The publication of Lewis Carroll S. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865 cemented the dodo's place in the popular imagination. The solemn, slightly absurd dodo character who presides over a pointless caucus race became an icon of obsolescence and melancholy. Everyone now knew what a dodo was. and everyone knew it was gone forever. A new kind of pilgrimage began. Scientists flocked to Mauritius, to a small swampy area called the Mare aux Songes. It was here, buried in the mud, that a treasure trove of dodo bones was discovered. For the first time, near-complete skeletons could be assembled. The ghost was finally taking shape. We could see its heavy build, its powerful legs, its massive, hooked beak. We could stand before its reconstructed form in museums and feel a tangible sense of what had been lost. And with that tangible form came a profound sense of regret. We looked at this bird, a creature that had evolved in isolation for millions of years, with no natural predators, and we saw our own reflection in its extinction. The dodo wasn't fierce or formidable. It was, by all accounts, curious and unafraid of the strange two-legged creatures who suddenly appeared on its island home. Its tameness, its inability to comprehend the danger it was in, was its undoing. It was a story of innocence betrayed. This growing awareness wasn't just about one bird on one island. The dodo became the poster child for a terrifying new reality. As industrialization surged and colonial empires expanded, stories of other vanishing species began to surface. The passenger pigeon, whose flocks once darkened the American skies, was hunted to oblivion. The great auk, the penguin of the north, was clubbed to death on its nesting rocks for its feathers and oil. The pattern was undeniable. The dodo was not an anomaly. It was the first loud, clanging bell in a fire alarm that we were only just beginning to hear. It forced us to confront a difficult truth, that we, humanity, were now a geological force, capable of erasing life from the planet. The age of innocence was over. The candlelit study rooms of the past gave way to modern laboratories and conservation centers, all born from the dodo's shadow. The dodo's legacy, then, is a paradox. Its physical absence has created an enormous presence in our consciousness. It is the ghost that haunts our conservation efforts. Every time we hear about an endangered species, from the majestic tiger to the humble honeybee, a faint echo of the dodo's story is there. It's a constant, gentle reminder of the fragility of life and the weight of our responsibility. We can never get the dodo back. We can't undo the mistakes made by a few hungry sailors and their invasive menagerie 3 centuries ago. But we can learn from its story. We can choose to see the world not as an inexhaustible resource, but as a delicate, interconnected web. We can look at the unique, irreplaceable creatures we share this planet with and see not just curiosities, but kindred spirits on a shared journey. The quiet evening mood of those early studies, filled with curiosity and a dawning sense of loss, has now spread across the globe. We are all, in a way, sitting in that candlelit room, looking at the fragments of what we are losing, and asking ourselves what we will do to keep the light from going out for good. The dodo is gone, but its story is more important now than ever. It's a tale written in bone and dust, a cautionary message from the past, spoken in a voice that we can no longer afford to ignore. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel for more journeys into the past. Your support helps us keep telling these important stories. See you next time. Have you ever wondered what a story from 400 years ago could possibly teach us today? It's a story about a bird, a strange and wonderful bird that once lived on a paradise island, far from the rest of the world. The dodo. We all know the name. It's become a symbol, a cartoon character, a stand-in for something gone forever. But the real story of the dodo is so much more than just a simple tale of extinction. It's a mirror reflecting our own world, our choices, and the future we are building right now. For countless other species, what does the dodo's ghost whisper to us on the winds of time? It asks us a profound question. Have we learned anything at all? Let's journey back to the island of Mauritius, a volcanic jewel in the Indian Ocean. Before humans arrived, it was a sanctuary. Lush forests carpeted the island, teeming with life found nowhere else on Earth. And here, in this isolated Eden, lived the dodo. It wasn't the clumsy, foolish bird of caricature. It was a marvel of evolution, perfectly adapted to its home. A large, flightless pigeon. It had no natural predators. It feared nothing because it had nothing to fear. Its world was peaceful, stable, and complete. Imagine that for a moment. A life without fear. The dodo nested on the ground, confident in the safety of its island. It was a gentle giant, a trusting soul in a world that had always been kind. Then, in 1598, everything changed. Ships arrived. Sailors, weary from long voyages, saw Mauritius as a perfect stopover. They saw the dodo not as a wonder, but as an easy meal. The birds, having never known predators, were unafraid. They would waddle right up to the newcomers, curious and trusting. This trust, this beautiful innocence, was tragically mistaken for foolishness. It was their death sentence. But it wasn't just the hunting. The sailors brought with them companions, rats, pigs, and monkeys. These invasive species, stowaways on the ships of progress, were a disaster for the island's native wildlife. They devoured the dodo's ground-level eggs, destroying a generation before it could even hatch. The forests, which had sheltered the dodos for millennia, began to fall to the axe, cleared for settlements and farmland. The dodo's world was literally disappearing from under its feet. Within less than a century of human arrival, the last dodo was gone. Think about that. An entire species which had thrived for thousands, perhaps millions of years, vanished in the blink of an evolutionary eye. There was no grand farewell, no final sighting recorded for posterity. It just faded away. One day there were dodos, and the next there were none. Forever, people at the time barely noticed. The concept of extinction wasn't even fully understood. They thought that nature was an endless resource, that what was lost in one place could surely be found in another. The dodo's story was a quiet tragedy, a footnote in the grand age of exploration. It was the first time we clearly understood that our actions could erase a species from the face of the earth, a terrible, irreversible power. So, why does this story from so long ago matter so much today? Because the dodo was not the last. It was the first of many. Its story is a blueprint for a pattern we've seen repeated with heartbreaking frequency. The passenger pigeon, once numbering in the billions, darkened the skies of North America. Gone. The Tasmanian tiger, a unique marsupial predator. Gone. The golden toad of Costa Rica, a vibrant jewel of the rainforest. Gone. Each one, a unique thread in the rich tapestry of life, plucked out forever. Each extinction leaves the whole weaker, less resilient, less beautiful. We are living through what scientists call the sixth mass extinction, but this one is different. It's not caused by an asteroid or a volcano. It's caused by us. Habitat loss, climate change, pollution, invasive species, the same forces that doomed the dodo are now at play on a global scale, but amplified 1,000 times over. Look around our modern world. The threats are everywhere. In the melting Arctic, the majestic polar bear struggles as its icy hunting grounds disappear. In the rainforests of Borneo, the gentle orangutan, our close relative, watches its forest home get replaced by plantations. In our own oceans, the vaquita, a tiny, shy porpoise, is on the very brink of extinction, with fewer than 10 individuals left, innocent victims of illegal fishing nets. These are the dodos of our time. They are not caricatures or distant fables. They are living, breathing beings whose fate rests squarely in our hands. Their silent plea echoes the dodos. Will we listen, or will we let them to become just a story we tell our children about a world that once was? But this is not a story that has to end in despair. This is where the dodo's tale transforms from a tragedy into a call to action. It teaches us about responsibility. We are the sailors who have landed on this planetary island. Unlike those first explorers, we know better. We understand the delicate web of life. We have the science to monitor ecosystems, the technology to reduce our impact, and the ability to communicate and cooperate on a global scale. We have the knowledge the 17th century sailors lacked. The question is, do we have the will? The story of the dodo has inspired a powerful movement. All over the world, dedicated people are fighting to prevent other species from meeting the same fate. We see it in the incredible efforts to reintroduce the California condor, bringing it back from the edge of oblivion. We see it in the creation of vast marine protected areas, giving our oceans a chance to heal. We see it in community-led reforestation projects, where local people are bringing back the very forests that are the lungs of our planet and the homes of countless creatures. Every single one of these success stories, big or small, started with a choice to care, a choice to act. This is where the hope lies. It lies in us. It's in the small decisions we make every day, the products we choose to buy, the way we consume energy, the support we give to conservation organizations. It's in raising our voices, demanding that our leaders protect our shared natural heritage. It's in teaching our children to love and respect the natural world, to see the wonder in a humble beetle just as much as in a magnificent whale. We can't be like the people who let the dodo slip away unnoticed. We must be the guardians, the stewards, the generation that finally learns the lesson. The sun is rising on a new day, and as its light touches the forests, the oceans, and the mountains, it illuminates both the challenges and the opportunities ahead. The dodo cannot be brought back. Its song is silenced forever, but its story can be a catalyst for a different future. A future where humanity learns to live in harmony with nature, not as its conqueror, but as a part of it. A future where we treasure biodiversity as the priceless inheritance it is. The dodo's story is not just about loss. It's about a second chance, not for the dodo, but for us, to get it right, to protect the wonders that still remain, to ensure that in 400 years, people will look back at our time and say, that was when they turned the tide. That was when they chose life. Thank you for watching. The dodo, a bird that walked the earth just a few centuries ago, now lives only in our collective memory. It's a strange thought, isn't it? How something so real, so vibrant, can vanish, leaving behind only stories and sketches. Imagine them, gentle and trusting, waddling through the lush forests of Mauritius, an island paradise they called home. They had no natural predators, no reason to fear, no need for the gift of flight. Their world was safe, a sanctuary of green leaves and warm sun. And then we arrived. In a tragically short time, their world was turned upside down. The dodo became a symbol, not of its own life, but of its extinction. It serves as a constant, quiet reminder of the fragility of life and the profound impact we have on our planet. When we think of the dodo, it's often with a sense of sadness, a feeling of loss for something we never knew. But tonight, as you settle in, let's reframe that story. Let's not see the dodo as just a symbol of an end, but as a beacon for a new beginning, a call to be more mindful, more gentle, more aware. The memory of the dodo doesn't have to be a burden of guilt. It can be a seed of compassion. It teaches us to cherish what we have, to protect the vulnerable, and to live in harmony with the world around us. Let the story of the dodo be a gentle lullaby, a lesson whispered from the past, reminding us to be better stewards of this beautiful, intricate world we all share. As you breathe in and out, let this thought settle, not as a weight, but as a soft feather, guiding you toward a peaceful, restorative sleep. The soft sound of the waves you hear is the Earth's own heartbeat, a rhythm that has pulsed for millennia. It's the same sound that the dodo would have heard, the gentle shushing of the Indian Ocean against the shores of its island home. Let this sound connect you to that time, to that place, to the timeless dance of nature. With each wave that rolls in, imagine it carrying away a worry, a stress, a piece of the day's hustle. And with each wave that recedes, feel a space opening up within you. A space for calm, for quiet, for deep, uninterrupted rest. Your body knows this rhythm. It's a primal comfort, a return to the simplest state of being. Allow your jaw to unclench, your brow to smooth. The day is done. All its tasks, its conversations, its challenges are now in the past. They are like footprints on the sand, waiting for the tide to come and wash them clean, leaving a smooth, fresh surface for a new day. Let your breath be your anchor. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest, mirroring the ebb and flow of the tide. Inhale deeply, drawing in the clean, salty air of this imaginary shoreline. Exhale slowly, releasing everything that no longer serves you. Let it go with the sound of the retreating wave. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out. Not yet. It's a promise of a new day, fresh and full of potential. It's the color of honey, of soft candlelight, of a fading ember in a hearth. This light is pure warmth, pure safety. It holds no judgment, no expectation. It simply is. And in its gentle presence, you are safe to let go completely. Feel this warm light spreading over you, starting with your toes. It flows into your calves and shins, releasing any tightness. Feel it pool around your knees, a comforting warmth that eases and supports. This golden light continues its journey up your thighs, loosening, softening, letting go. Your entire lower body feels heavy, grounded, and deeply, deeply relaxed. The warmth now spreads across your hips and into your lower back, an area where so much of our stress resides. Let the light dissolve it, like sugar in warm water. It moves up your spine, vertebra by vertebra, unknotting and unwinding. Your stomach softens, your chest opens. You can breathe more freely, more deeply. The warm light flows down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists and hands, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Your hands, which have worked so hard today, can now rest, open and relaxed in your lap or by your side. Finally, this gentle golden light travels up your neck, easing the muscles that hold your head. It bathes your face in its soft glow. Your jaw relaxes further, your cheeks soften. The tiny muscles around your eyes let go. Your forehead becomes smooth and serene. Your entire body is now cocooned in this beautiful, warm light. You are floating in a sea of tranquility, held by the gentle sound of the waves and the promise of a peaceful dawn, a transformation from a physical being into a powerful idea, an idea of care, of respect, of interconnectedness. As you drift deeper into sleep, let that idea permeate your dreams. Dream of a world where we listen closely to the whispers of nature, where we cherish every creature, great and small. Dream of green forests and clear waters. Dream of harmony. Your mind is becoming as calm as a still lagoon at sunrise. The thoughts that once raced around are now like distant clouds, drifting lazily across the sky, becoming softer, more diffuse, until they fade into the soft blue of the morning. There is only this moment, this breath, this feeling of profound peace. The boundary between the sound of the ocean and your own inner quiet is dissolving. You are one with this peaceful scene. You are a part of this timeless rhythm. Sleep is a gift you give to yourself. It is a sacred time for your body to heal, for your mind to process, and for your spirit to recharge. You are worthy of this gift. You are deserving of this deep, restorative rest. As you surrender to the pull of sleep, know that you are safe. You are held. You are at peace. The gentle waves will continue their watch over you throughout the night, a constant, lulling presence. The warm light of dawn will wait patiently for you, ready to greet you when it is time. But for now, there is only sleep, sweet, deep, and peaceful sleep. Let go, drift away. Rest now, rest well. Good night.